Hello everybody, it is Wednesday, June 8th. June 8th. I gotta start out with the elephant in the room. I have no idea what happened in the past few weeks, but for my videos to go from like averaging 8 to like 30 views a video to having one that has, I think at the time of recording, like 1,200 views, like 1,200 views. I don't know what happened. But I am shocked. I mean, I could look it up right now real quick. It's just, I'm literally shaking because like none of my videos have over 350 views. Whoa! Nope, it jumped overnight. Okay, so none of my videos have over 350 views. And my last 3 videos have 221. So 3 videos ago has 221. My last video is 239, and then I might have cancer video, which is still, I don't know what I have. I'm still trying to figure all this out. The pain is out of control. The pain is right now, like at this exact moment, is really bad. But I'm still making the video because today's topic is really important to talk about. But that I might have cancer videos at 1,866 views. And no other video of mine has over 350. So I don't know what happened. I don't know why that one has so many views, but in just 3 weeks, it has exploded. My subscriber count has gone from like 40 to over 100. This is unbelievable. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if my videos are going to reach a wider audience. I don't know if my subscriber count is going to go down because people are like, oh, I really don't care for this kid anymore. but we'll see. But I just wanted to say that I'm grateful for the audience that it's reaching. I wish the topic of that video had been better to reach a bigger audience, but it's still unreal that it reached such a big audience. But this week's video is not going to be... You should know by now, if you watched enough of my videos, that when I have that little nervous struggle, that's not a good topic. It's my defense mechanism for when I'm talking about something really uncomfortable. Sorry, I'm sucking in a cough drop. I'm not sick, I just sore throat. I'm not drinking enough water. I should probably drink that when I'm done with this. Okay. I'm pretty much done with that anyways. I'm gonna drink some water. Anyways, you can already tell I'm already avoiding the subject. So in my last video I was talking about like funny stories from the deli I used to work at, and if you haven't watched that video, those jokes were real bad, but it was just a lot of fun working at that deli and just throwing gay jokes around. Also, I might have struggled in this video too. I struggle in just about every video to say basic words. But I think I said tragic instead of tragic. I said mental health challenge instead of channel. It was just, I struggled really bad in that video. Yeah, I was just joking with myself that whole video. But this week's video is very serious. I'm going to try to stay on point. I'm going to try not to deviate, but also when I talk about something super serious, as I am going to in this video, sometimes I kind of deviate and I get kind of a tangent because it's not that I'm uncomfortable, like, literally talking about it. It's that sometimes the memories and the tragedy behind what has happened kind of spurs some feelings, and I get a little uncomfortable, and sometimes I have some nervous chuckles, but the nervous chuckles are nervous chuckles. I don't find the topic funny, so I want to make sure that's very clear. But with that being said, putting a trigger warning on this right away, that I'm going to talk about violence, sexual assault. So if any of that bothers you or triggers you in any way, turn this video off. Don't go any further. So in that video that I just made last week, I talked about how the new owners of the deli in 2014 found out that I was bi through something that happened, and in that last video, I was like, oh no, that's not how they found out, and I kind of like laughed it off, and there was 2 instances that happened that they found out. In 2014, I went on a date with someone. At a bar about 8 miles, 10 miles from here. Drove my Honda out to where around where he lived, to this bar that was off the main road. I think it was off the main road. Anyways, wound up having quite a few beers. Had a sandwich. I don't remember a whole lot about the night. All I remember is that I had a lot of food and a lot of beer, and it was like 12:30 in the morning, and I was like, I'm tired, I gotta work tomorrow morning at 8, like, I need to get home. I was not in good shape, meaning I was a little bit tipsy, but I was like, I need to get home, and he was like, oh, you can come to my house. I'm like, nope, because I did not have a good feeling about this guy. This guy was a little sketch, and he had promised at the beginning of the night that he was going to pay, but then I didn't realize that when I was in the bathroom, I had left my wallet by accident on the bar, and he had put my card, he had put like everybody's drinks on the bar on my tab. So by the end of the night, I had figured out that he had run up like a tab of like $1,000 on my card. And I was like, what? Or it wasn't 1,000, I think it was like, it was a lot though. It was like $500. So yeah, real sketch guy, stole my wallet, used my card to pay for like everybody's drinks in the bar. I was so pissed. So I'm already pissed, I'm tipsy, I was like, fuck you can get away from me. So I'm driving home. It's only like 10 miles. I've driven the stretch of road 1,000 million times. You know, at this point in time, I'm 22 years old, but I driven so much at that point in time that I had known the stretch of road like the back of my hand, that I was so confident I could drive home even though I was a little inebriated. And I got to about a mile away from my house, and I was driving about 50 miles per hour at 45, and I smashed, and I mean smashed, into the median at a major intersection. And I remember as clear as day, despite the fact that I was not all there, that there were 3 sets of headlights on the other side of the median coming towards me, but the median where I hit, like specifically where I hit, had about an 8-inch curb, and I smashed my wheel right up against it. And fortunately for me, it was so high and I had such a low car that I just smashed up against it, and I like kind of ricocheted off it like a pinball. And immediately my tire goes flat. I pull off into this neighborhood on the right, and I was like wide awake at this point now, because I'm like, holy crap, like what? Oh my crap! I was like, holy crap, like what the hell just happened? So I pull over, and I'm you know, doing this to my eyes. Okay, I gotta change a tire or something. So I get out of my car, and my left front tire is just completely blown out. I mean, it's on the rim already. So I'm like, what the hell? And I bring out my phone, I put on the flashlight, and there's a hole in the side of my tire about this big, like in the side of my tire, not in the tread, like in the side of my tire. There's a hole about the size of a golf ball, and I was like, what the hell happened? And to make matters worse, right behind me comes a squad car, lights go and everything, squad car, and I'm like, oh no. I was like, oh, I reek a beer. I'm like, this is not good. So I go to my trunk, and I pull out my tools, and I'm like, no, I just got to change a flat tire, my tire blew out. Like you're gonna believe that. And she's like, oh, I saw the whole thing. And I was like, and she's like, yeah, I saw your tire blow out, and you hit the median. And I'm like, yep, totally did. And then another guy pulled over, and I'm like, oh, can this night please end? Like, don't do this to me. And this guy helped me out, and the guy was like, oh, do you need help changing your tire? I'm like, yeah, if you wouldn't mind, you know, it's just really late, I'm really tired, and I have to work early in the morning, you know, I just gotta get home and sleep. He's like, yeah, no problem. So he changed my tire for me, and I was like, oh, thanks, man, so much. And I pull out my wallet, and I forgot that date had stolen all my money, and I was like, oh man, I just went on a date, and like my date stole all my money, and like ran up a tab of like $500. I don't have anything to tip you with, and he was like, oh, what a douche, and I'm like, yeah. I was like, oh, good thing you don't have a problem with it. The fact that it was a guy. He's like, no, to each their own. I don't give a shit. I was like, okay. And I was like, can I like, that was before Venmo or whatever. I'm like, can I pay you something like tomorrow? Like, can you give me your phone number or something? He's like, no, it's no problem. Don't worry about it. After was like, yeah, just get home safely. I'm like, all right. So I got home safely, and it turns out my spare tire was flat. So the next morning I came out and my spare tire was flat. So it was a whole thing. But so the next day I remember I went to work and my tire was flat, but it was my spare tire. So I reinflated the tire, went to work, and then when I came out of work that night, my spare tire was flat. It was a whole thing. But I remember I went to work and my bosses were like, you do not look good. I'm like, I had a bad night. So my date ran up a tab of like $500, which was like all that I made this past week, so I'm not happy. And they're like, oh man, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, he was a dick. And then I was like, they're like, he? I'm like, yeah, he. And they're like, oh yeah, yeah, you don't have a problem with that. I'm like, okay, cool. And yeah, we talked for a bit, and then they're like, yeah, we don't have a problem with that. It's all good. And we went about our merry way for the day, and you know, it was a little awkward because it was just like a weird way to come out to my bosses. Was just like my date ran up a tab and basically stole my wallet for the night. So it was just not a good night, but pales in comparison because that was like August like 20th of 2014, or no, that was September. Okay, this may have been like my whoring phase because I think it was like September. Okay, I did this backwards. Wait, when was that? No, because I met them in August. That may have been like September like 20. That was the end of September. Okay, so I did this backwards, but I'm just leaving the video the way it is. September 20. That was like September 25th, because I remember. That's. Oh, okay. Now I remember what happened. So that's how they found out. That's how they found out that, and then. Okay, so this is. I'm backpedaling a little bit, but that's how they found out that. So. That was true. So I mean, that's how they found out that. But I forgot. I muddled up the details on the other part. But so that was like September 25th, 2014, and then September 5th, 2014 was the day that one of the days that like my life just completely turned upside down, because not this bed, but right about this area. I used to have a futon before I bought this bed. I bought this bed in 2015 to replace the futon because in 2014 I moved back to my house after I lived in the apartment with my ex. And then when I moved back home, I brought the futon with me. And then in 2015 I bought this bed for steel because this kind of bed now, goes for like $4,000. I bought this one for $1,500. For the specific type of bed. I know beds like now you can buy them for like $400, but the specific type of bed is like whatever. Got it for a steal. But like basically right where I'm sitting, I had the futon. Gotta get the tissues ready because this is going to be emotional. So basically right where I'm sitting, I had the futon. I know I've said that like 10,000 times now. And I had somebody over for a first date. And this is the reason that I've never, ever since September 5th, 2014, I've never had somebody over to my house or gone to somebody's house for a first date since. I always have first dates in a public location. Restaurant, coffee shop, bar, I don't care. It's just never, ever going to be at my house or their house ever again. And this is why. He came over to my house. I'm pretty sure I picked him up. We came over here, or I think we went to a bar first, and then we came here. No, we didn't go to a bar. We came here first. And he was on something. I don't know what. I will never know what. But he was on something. Because I went to the bathroom and I came back. He was so paranoid that something was going on. I said, why am I here? What are you doing with me? And I'm like, we're on a date. He goes, I don't even know who you are. Who are you? And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, we've been talking for like a few weeks. I said we wanted to go on a date, so I brought you back here. We're just gonna watch a movie and cuddle or something. Should have seen the warning signs and bailed or told him to get the fuck out. I didn't. And he grabbed me. And he was like my ex. I mean, he was really skinny, but I was also really skinny back then. Not the size I am now, but he was. We were both. He was a little lankier than me, but he was on something because he overpowered me. And he pinned me to the futon, and he pulled down my pants, and he raped me. He raped me in the room that I'm sitting in right now. Because he thought that I was trying to hurt him. And the irony is that he wound up hurting me. So, literally where I'm sitting right now, 8 years ago this September, I was raped in this room. So when I said in the last video that this room holds a lot of bad memories, and when I move out, I pretty much just want to burn this room to the ground. Because 3 months after I moved back here, after moving out of my apartment, I was raped in. I was raped again in the house that I thought that I was safe in, because my parents were right downstairs. But I was so shocked that it was happening that I didn't even make a noise. I feel like I'm gonna throw up right now. And it was one of the few times in my life that I have fought someone, literally fist fought someone. Because after 30, 40 seconds, I found some weird adrenaline or strength inside of me, and I fought him off, but then whatever he was on was just so overpowering that I literally had to almost chokehold him, and then I punched him as hard as I possibly could, and I sucker punched him right across here, and then I punched him square here, and there was just blood everywhere. He fell to the ground, he hit his head on my dresser. There's still chips in the dresser from where he hit his head. There's literal chips in my dresser. I can't turn the camera around to show it, but there's little chips in the dresser from where he hit his head. and he didn't move. I thought I had killed him. He didn't move, so I got him dressed and kind of weekend of burning him. If you haven't seen that movie, it's about where they like prop up a dead guy and make him look like he's living. And kind of weekend burning him, kind of piggybacked him down the stairs, got him to my car, and I dropped him off at a McDonald's down the street. And I got his phone and I called the first contact at his phone, phone that I figured, home. Said, yeah, Andrew's here at McDonald's, gave me the address, and said, who are you? And I just said, it's nobody, just come pick him up. And about 2 hours later, there were 4 squad cars at the front door. They said we need to come with us, and I said I'm not going anywhere. And they said we need to come with us, and so I went with them. And that's the only time in my life that I've told the police something that happened to me. Something violent that happened to me. And they said, do you want to press charges? And I said, nope. I just want to forget this night ever happened. Because I am so ashamed and just so ashamed that I let this person into my home. And let this happen to me. But when I started this channel back in 2018, back in August 2018, my very first video was titled, I'm a survivor, not a victim. And that night was probably the most proof of that, because that guy was so high on something that had I not fought him off, he may have killed me. Because he was on something that I have only seen in the show Cops before, like PCP or something, because he was so strong for being so skinny and lanky. And the fact that I have the literal proof on my dresser, and marks on the dresser, and I had to scrub the blood out of the floor. It took me a week to clean up this room, like a literal week. And the reason I said last week, like, oh no, that's not how to figure it out, and I thought of this memory, was because the next day I had to work the liquor store and the deli, because it was a Friday night. I had to work a Saturday. I think it was a Friday night. Yep, it was a Friday night. I had to work the Saturday next day. But I was talking to the police until 4 in the morning. I had to work a 16-and-a-half-hour day the next day on 0 sleep. I still remember, I think that was the first weekend I met my bosses. And they were like, you do not look good. It's like, nice to meet you too. But they could tell I was in some kind of way that I couldn't explain, because they didn't know about me yet, and I didn't want that to be the way that they found out. But I got through my 16-and-a-half-hour day. I crushed a 5th of Jameson. Not a 5th. No, it was a 5th. I was in Handle. It was the 5th. At Jameson that night. It's Saturday night. I think I slept it all that weekend. I think I was just up for like 70 hours straight. I mean, how can you sleep? That was the 6th and final person to ever rape me. And 3 months later, to the day, I would have my first surgery on my backside, my butt, to remove warts for the diagnosis of HPV. And I found out 3 weeks after I was raped that I had HPV. So somewhere in the process of that year, being raped so many times, I found out I had HPV. And I have no idea who gave it to me. But for the longest time I wanted to blame my ex, but there was so many people. I don't know who it was. And it's easy to blame the person that's caused you the most pain. But in reality, there was so much there was so much pain caused to me over the course of that year and a half that I don't know. I can't even tell what was real and what was fake, and what was the cause of so much pain and torture and you know, my drinking was so bad that I can't even begin to describe what I can't even like remember 90% of 2013, 2017, but the horrible memories of those 4 years I remember like they were yesterday. I still remember September 4th, the 5th, 2014. I still remember like it was yesterday because it happened in this room. But I'm a stronger person, not because of it, but I'm a stronger person today. Reliving that day is kind of the reason I'm bleh right now. But in 2 hours' time, I'll be back to, you know, not like living my best life, but just I'll be back to not thinking about this as much. But processing these emotions and knowing that these memories are never fully going to go away is a healthy way of living. And knowing that having a healthy way to deal with them is a good way of living. When you suffer a trauma, when you suffer a very negative experience such as sexual assault or domestic violence, it's important to realize that shame and guilt are natural feelings to go along with those experiences. However, it is not your fault what happens to you. The person that attacked you is the problem, not yourself. You're the innocent one. You're the victim. You're the survivor. The fact that you're still here, the fact that you're watching this video, the fact that you are still breathing a breath, the fact that you are still fighting each day to live a better life, the fact that you are still living a better life for yourself. Even if you're struggling with substance abuse, even if you're struggling each day, even if you're still fighting for a better life, even if you're struggling each day with your inner demons, you're still living. You're still moving forward. You are still not letting that asshole, that person, that entity, that trauma defeat you. You're still fighting. You're still surviving. You're still defeating your enemies without even realizing it. You have an inner strength within you that you don't even realize. And that's something that I realized without therapy. I didn't even need therapy to realize that. And I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist. These are things I'm just realizing that I want to share with people through my own experiences. Is that by breathing every breath, living every day, by living minute by minute, by taking things one day at a time, you're defeating those traumas. You are getting past your enemies, and you are not letting trauma and enemies defeat you. You are winning every single day. And that is something you need to look in your mirror every day and say to yourself, I am a survivor, and I am winning just by being here, just by being myself. And that is something that I do every day. And I have done every day since 2017, 2018? Probably 2018. I pretty much look at my mirror every day, and I just look at myself and I say, by all accounts, I should not be here. By how much I drank and how little I was when I drank, I should not be here. It doesn't make any sense. I literally defied the odds of drinking in the size that I was. But the fact that I'm still here means that I have a purpose to fulfill. That there is still something that I'm meant to do. And maybe it's just live my life. Maybe it's just enjoy each day. Maybe it's just enjoy the smells of the world and live each day and make people laugh. Make myself laugh. Tell stupid dad jokes to everybody and just make people laugh with my stupid humor. You know, play off other people's words and make gay jokes and be like, and just make people laugh. Maybe it's this channel and just share my experiences and hope that somebody out there hears it and knows that they're not alone, and knows that somebody who's not a celebrity, like myself, goes through these things and can share the experiences and can make a difference. Maybe. Just by showing that it's possible to survive each day and to survive everyday struggles. My channel name. Because every day there's a struggle to be had, to be overcome. Whether it's that you're too tired, whether it's that you're reliving a trauma, whether it's dealing with anxiety, depression, PTSD, that you're hungry, that you're thirsty, that you went to work without a water bottle and you don't have money to buy a water bottle, and you know, what are you going to do about water, or that you are hungry and nothing suits your appetite, or that you're sick and you can't eat the food that you want, or, you know, it's all about adapting to the issues of each day. And some days are easier than others. Some days it's just, I want a burger today, but I know that I shouldn't because I need to lose weight. Or that's like a personal thing for me. But, you know, or some days it's, I want to go driving around all day and just listen to music, but gas is $6 a gallon, so I know that that's not a realistic option. But some days it's as difficult as I cannot get out of bed today because I am having really bad thoughts. And for those days, it is important to realize that you woke up, that you have purpose, that you are surviving each day. Even if it's the most difficult thing on the planet, you are surviving and you are winning just by being here. And that is extremely important. Andrew, that fucking asshole rapist that attacked me in my room, I don't care if he was on something, he's still a rapist. And I survived it. I defended myself, and I survived it. and he did not defeat me. I really don't think about him that much anymore. It's just, I thought about it last week because I was thinking about how I came out to my new bosses, and it just happened to be right in that same area. But I'm a survivor, not a victim. I mean, technically on paper I am a victim, but I say I'm a survivor. I don't say I'm a victim. However, in the description of the video, of every single video I've ever posted, I think, there is a link called victimsconnect.org, I believe. Click on that link and it has the hotline and website, I believe, to every, like, a hotline in America, like to assault victims, to addiction, to alcohol abuse, to sexual abuse, to domestic violence, to every hotline in America for any issue you might have. I found that link by accident back in like 2017 or 2018, and I posted on every single description. My description is pretty much always what the video is about, and then a bunch of links to a bunch of like the National Suicide Hotline every time, and then the LGBTQ Youth Trevor Project every single time. That helps LGBTQ youth. That's kind of basically like their, you know, it's helping LGBTQ youth through their issues as well. Make sure that you are always double checking that description, because as much as I love making these videos and sharing these experiences and talking about mental health, I also want to make sure that the description is being checked too, because those websites and those hotlines are very important to spread awareness about. And you can always copy and paste to your own Facebook, your own Twitter, or your own Instagram or TikTok or whatever, because those websites and those hotlines are very important and can save a life, or can save somebody's day, or you may literally save a life by sharing those hotlines and those websites. So I recommend that you share those with others. I'm not demanding that you do, but I ask that you do, just because it could very, very well help somebody that you know, or that you might not know. But with all this being said, I have, this is another longer video. However, the topic was very important for anyone out there that has struggled or has gone through sexual violence or abuse. I'm so terribly sorry that you've gone through that, but know that you are not alone, that you should not feel ashamed, that you should not feel guilty about it. Those are natural emotions that you probably will feel. However, those feelings will most likely pass through time. You can always talk to a therapist, a licensed therapist. You can always message me if you'd like to talk about it. I'm not a licensed therapist, but as somebody that's gone through it, you can talk to friends that have gone through it. You can talk to your parents. You can talk to friends, colleagues, whoever. Reach out to someone, talk about it if you feel comfortable doing that. If you're not comfortable talking to somebody who you do know, talk to me, because most people do not know me, except through these videos. So I'm always here to talk to. So the comments that I've gotten on those past couple of videos has been really, really nice. For 100% of the comments have been nice. And I appreciate that, because I do not tolerate hate on my videos. If you post something that's hateful in the comments, I'm deleting it. I do not tolerate hate. If you have something hateful to say, keep it to yourself. I do not tolerate it. I understand that everybody has their own opinions, and I respect everybody for their own opinion, but I do not tolerate hateful speech on my videos. I will delete them. Let's keep it nice. If you have your own opinion, even if it's a hateful one, be respectful about it. We are allowed to have different opinions. Just be respectful about it. That's all I ask. I think that's pretty much it. Again, just thank you so much for all the support. It just really, it's unbelievable that I've gotten like 2,400 views in my last 3 videos. It's unbelievable. You know, combined, obviously. But everybody take care of yourselves, take care of each other. You know, tell someone you care about them today. You just never know. You just never know. I don't try, I'm not saying that to be morbid every time. It's realistic. You never know when your last day is here. So just tell someone you care about them today, so you know that, so they know that you're thinking about them. And I will see everybody next week, hopefully on the 16th. I will try to post a video. I think I'm off work again. But then after that, I think I'm working days again, so my schedule is going to shift around, so I might shift my day according to my schedule, like my posting day, but we'll see. I'm still getting used to how to post videos like in the future. I think I figured it out, but I'm trying to figure this all out. So, because I'm already a little sporadic with how I'm posting videos, and I just want to make sure I don't screw this up, so I'm trying to get back onto a set schedule, and it's just, with my health issues, it's just very difficult to do that. But I'm trying not to make an excuse. Even though it's a valid excuse, I'm trying not to make excuses for why I'm not posting. So, I'll try to post a video next Wednesday. And again, thank you for all the support. And then, yeah, I'll see everybody next Wednesday. And just take care of yourselves and tell someone you care about them today. And just keep fighting and breathing every day, and just keep going. Just keep living and take things one day at a time. And keep drinking water, because I'm not drinking enough, and it's kind of hurting me. So, especially with everything I got going on with my plumbing. So, drink plenty of water. Take care of yourselves, and see you next week. Thanks.